Greetings, royal family. Welcome back. All right, so let's just get straight into it. What is going on with Miss Teairra Marie? Like, this is just getting out of control now. So if you haven't heard by now, Teairra Marie, who is known as a singer, she was signed to Rockefeller Records back in the day. And once she left Rockefeller Records, we haven't seen much of her until her reappearance years ago on Love and Hip Hop. So she's on Love and Hip Hop, trying to get her career together. But while she was on Love and Hip Hop, we got to see that she really has a substance abuse problem, preferably alcohol. That's her vice of choice. And recently in New York, Teairra Marie was driving in the Queens Tunnel. Shout out to any of you who are from the tri-state area or from New York in particular. You know the Queens Tunnel, you know what it gives, right? So she's driving at like 3 o'clock in the morning. She ends up losing her front tire on her car and continues to drive through the tunnel. And she was obviously stopped by authorities, and they tested her blood alcohol level, and her blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. Like, that's just crazy. Her license was also suspended, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't valid, so it must have been suspended, revoked, who knows. And I think she did not have her inspection stickers or registration or whatever up to date. So she was arrested. It's being reported that she was released. But my God in heaven, I mean, this is crazy. Like, she could have killed herself and someone else as well. You know, we saw her on Love and Hip Hop. She was going to rehab, and she's been trying to get herself together. Last couple of interviews that I seen with her, she was, you know, maintaining her sobriety. But this is terrifying. Like, this is really scary. Like, this is really scary. And I feel like it's time for a professional of some sort to really step in. You know, we do see that she's trying, or it appears that way on TV anyway, by her going into a rehabilitation program. But I think it's time for a professional to like step in aggressively now. Like, you know, like really, really aggressively, because she needs some more treatment, this time intense. It's like, my goodness, it's embarrassing. It's dangerous to her. She's a danger to herself and to other people. And it's like, what is it going to take for this behavior to like stop? And we don't know what we know she's going through things, but we don't know what personal issues she's battling. Obviously there's something that's going on. But regardless, I just feel like that a professional definitely needs to step in and intervene and hopefully really get her the treatment that she needs so that she can stay on the safe path to sobriety. Because I can't even imagine that. Like, what if she would have like really lost control and she would have really killed herself, or killed herself and someone else, or really injured herself? She came out of that situation unharmed, you know what I mean, from what's being reported. So it's sad. When I first heard it, I was like, wait, what? The first thing I thought was, I wonder if she was drunk. Bam. Under the influence. And I don't know if this is her first DUI, but that just scared the hell out of me, because driving in the Queens Tunnel, you know what I mean? You can't, in the tunnel of all places, like your car is you lose a wheel, your car is sparking, smoking. And because your judgment is impaired, because you're drunk, oh my God. We're going to really hope and pray that Teairra Marie really gets like the intense help that she needs, man, because this is getting crazy now. Like, it was crazy before and it's crazier now. And it's like, man, you know? So we sending positive vibes to Miss Teairra Marie. And I really hope that she like cleans this all up, and she better be kissing the ground and thanking the Almighty that she did not injure herself or anyone else, right? Next topic I wanted to touch on is Miss Wendy Williams. Okay, so Wendy Williams and her husband, because they're still legally married, Kevin Hunter, they showed up to support their son, Little Kev, because Little Kev had a court date, right? Remember when Little Kev and Big Kev got into that little scuffle and he popped his father in the mouth? Yeah, so he had a court date, and Big Kev and Wendy, they showed up to support. Little Kev did plead not guilty to the assault charges that are being brought against him. Now, Big Kev is not pressing charges on his son. That's what's being reported. But yeah, I can only imagine like what that's like. You know, Wendy and Big Kev and Little Kev too, they're in the media like crazy for the past couple of months. Wendy filed for divorce. You know, there was a child involved, a mistress involved, all of this craziness. And it's good to see that Big Kev and Wendy showed up to support their son. Now there's talks about Wendy supposedly wanting to move to LA. Now I have something to say about that. I think that is the worst thing that Wendy Williams can do, is pick up and move to the West Coast, specifically LA, because I don't want to sound like morbid and pessimistic, but we all know that people who suffer from any sort of mental illness, any sort of substance abuse, it never really ends well for them in LA. You get what I'm trying to say, royal family? So I think that if she decides to pick up her show and move her life to the West Coast, I think that that's an extremely bad idea. Wendy was photographed out in LA recently with her boyfriend or whatever, her friend, some young guy, and it just seemed like she was kind of inebriated. She did an interview but TMZ kind of caught up with her, and she was in the car with her new friend crying about how she still loves Kevin and yada yada, and she looked a little bit under the influence of what we don't know. So I hope that Wendy kind of gets this together. I hope that Little Kev doesn't have to face jail time or probation. I just hope them as a family, they get it together. Whether at this point, I don't even care if Wendy stays with Kevin or not. Like I never really did. I just hope for the well-being of the entire family. You know what I'm saying? And it's tragic to watch. It's unfortunate that when you are in the public eye, like everyone has their lenses glued to you, and they're going through so much drama, and it's being advertised, all over the media. And Wendy should be used to it by now, because she made her career off of exposing or talking about whatever other celebrities. So hopefully she's handling it well, but I don't think that she should move to LA. Let me know what you think, royal family. Am I overreacting? What do you think about her possibly picking up and moving to LA? This is all alleged. We don't know if this is true. So I just seen that floating around social media. And I definitely wish Little Kev the best, because it's unfortunate, because he didn't ask to be born to these parents of his, and he didn't ask to be in show business. It's a choice that his mom made, and unfortunately he is suffering some of the consequences of his mother and father being in the public eye, especially with this scandal, you know what I mean, that's been going on for a long time, right? So we'll just basically have to keep Wendy watching and see what becomes of all of this. Hopefully it is a positive and happy ending, right? So I wanted to touch on one more topic before I sign off. Toys R Us. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Toys R Us is supposed to be reopening their stores. Now, Toys R Us closed down about, a year ago now? And, they had this huge going out of business sale. Toys R Us has been around for years and years and years. The brand is a household name. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of CEOs got nice severance packages, okay? So the company stated that they went bankrupt, which is why they closed their stores. So here we are almost a year later, and it's being reported that they're reopening their stores. And do we really need a Toys R Us in this day and age? Because I'm assuming that the brick and mortar stores of Toys R Us went out of business because everybody shops online. Amazon is a huge entity. So a lot of people buy groceries, clothes, toys, electronics, books, hair, lots of things on Amazon. So I'm assuming that contributed to part of why Toys R Us, along with a couple of other brick and mortar stores, went out of business. But do we need a Toys R Us in this day and age? Like, do we need it? Like, let me know what you think. I remember going to Toys R Us as a kid, getting things like video games for like my Nintendo, okay, bikes, and what else? Like Play-Doh, board games, things like that. I remember Toys R Us. But now, like I said, you can get a lot of those things a lot cheaper at Amazon, on Amazon, Walmart, you know, a couple of other places. Because before Toys R Us closed down, they got very expensive. You know what I mean? A lot of their toys were extremely high priced. And I found a lot of the same toys and things like that for kids at a fraction of the price at Walmart or even on Amazon. So I say all that to say, like, do we need Toys R Us? Like, what do you guys think? And share some of your Toys R Us experience, because I was a Toys R Us kid, but that was like decades ago, all right? And even if they did open Toys R Us back up, they need to, like, I think they need to rebrand Toys R Us. It would be kind of cool if they had, like, in the stores, not only did they sell like toys, video games, and things like that, but they had some kind of like interactive type deal, like where you can go in and like kind of play video games and, you know, something different. Like, if they're gonna reopen the stores and it be the same Toys R Us, then what's the point? I don't know. Something seems fishy about this, because this has been, unless they're going to open it up under a different name, like Toys R Us may be spelled differently, because you know companies do that. They'll file, or people do that. They'll file for bankruptcy, and then they will reopen up their business under the same name but spell like different. So it might be, instead of TOYS, it might be TOYZRUS. You know what I mean? They can do that. There's a lot of loopholes with a lot of these companies. So I just wanted to stop by here real quick and touch on Miss Teairra Marie, who we are wishing you nothing but a speedy recovery. And I'm hoping that you really, really, really get some serious intervention. You know, I wonder if Mona Scott Young is going to step in, if she hasn't tried to already, and kind of really like get Teairra the help that she needs. You know what I mean? But she might exploit this whole situation for the Love and Hip Hop franchise, which is just pathetic. That's a whole nother topic for another day. And then Wendy Williams. Oh, how could I forget? Wendy Williams is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. How could I forget that? How interesting. Tell me what you think about that. Do you think that Wendy is deserving of the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? I think so. See, now that I think about it, remember when I said I don't think that Wendy should even move to LA or think about moving to LA? I just got a creepy feeling like she's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's thinking of moving to LA. It just sounds like the makings of... It just sounds weird. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. You can kind of hopefully like see where I'm going with that. But yes, tell me what you think about Wendy getting the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I think it's well deserved. Why not? Like, she's a media icon. She's a queen of media. So she definitely is deserving of that. Trust me, I know, and I'm pretty sure you can name a couple of people who are very less deserving, in my opinion, who have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And then Toys R Us reopening. Do you care? Do you think Toys R Us should reopen? What are your thoughts about that? So be sure to get down in the comments. I just wanted to come on here real quick and spread a little sunshine. Hopefully you guys are enjoying my content. Be sure to check out any of my other videos. Check out my channel. If you like what you see, make sure you thumbs up the video, subscribe, share. I definitely don't mind. Royal family, I love you for watching. And as always, peace.